Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do another fun painting. So let's get started. We'll start off today with a very soft gray, made out of a little bit of red, blue, touch of black, and white. All right, let's come up here and just drop in a subtle little cloud area. Maybe in our painting today. Oh, there's going to be a lot of clouds. Very cloudy sky today. Maybe a little more blue. Maybe we've got a bright area up here. Let it drift down. There we go. Now with our filbert brush and some white and just the tiniest bit of red and yellow, let's go ahead and work on some more detailed areas up here. Now I'm kind of just almost randomly scrubbing around. I'm just keeping in mind a very loose shape of clouds and stuff up here. There. I'm just scrubbing in our nice light areas to the painting. Maybe we'll come back and have some dark areas too. There. Leave some of the original colors there showing through. That'll make it so nice. A little more red. Do something over here. Change up the colors. Now with a nice light gray color, let's just block in a mountain back here. Maybe one that will have a little waterfall falling down from. There, pretty soft and a beautiful little pleasing shape. As you can see, I do have a sketch on the canvas here of some things we'll do in the foreground. There. And maybe right over here, let's do just the tiniest little waterfall. Very subtle. Maybe it doesn't really show too well. That's okay. I just want a little something right down there. There. Sparkle it up. Just a hint of white. Good enough. Touch of color, but not much. A little warm color. Just laying around on the palette. Let's just warm up the face of this mountain just a tiny bit. This is not a highlight. This is just the color of the rocks. It's really too far away for much detail. Now with a little bit of brown, black, touch of blue, and some of this light color laying around here, let's go ahead and just block in this mountain over here. Now I've decided that I want this one to be mostly tree covered. So we're going to paint it slightly differently. However, we're going to block it in just about the same. I might just leave the edges a little softer than normal because we're going to soften them with the trees anyway. All right. Now when you go to mix color in your paintings here, you see I just add a little more blue to that. Just a little blue to change it up. You notice if you looked at my palette there, all my colors are sort of mixed together in the center. See? Look at this. So I can come over here and just grab a little bit of brown and some red and I throw them in. And what that does is it helps to tie my painting together. And it's a great way to soften your colors. And it makes it look more realistic that way. Now maybe we'll figure out how this all goes in there. Maybe there's some trees. For now, I think this is good. Next, with a soft gray color, I'm just going to work on some beautiful background areas. Just want some trees down here, so I'm just tapping. And I'm just going to create a lot of trees over and over and over again. Just keep tapping. And eventually you'll have your little forest. Leave some of the soft areas showing through here. Don't cover it all up. There we go. This is pretty good. And then we can go highlight what we want and leave out some of it just the way it is. Coming right forward from the base of that waterfall. So they should get a little bit bigger as you come forward. Each layer needs to get a little bigger. With a little bit of yellow, white, and green on the filbert brush. Let's go ahead and begin to put on some beautiful highlight just to the edge of this mountain for starters here. Then as you work down, leave little dark areas, but keep them so small. These trees, we don't want to see individuals here. That would be weird. it would be too far away for any kind of detail like that. And the further you go back, give it a little smudge, and then all you have is really just a blur of color that's so subtle back there, maybe you can't even see it. Some of this detail you can't see unless you're really close to the painting. Now let's go ahead and block in some beautiful trees up here. And as you can see, I did take a light green color, about the same color as the mountains. And I sketched them in, just in case if I didn't like the shape, I could easily blend it into the background mountain. Once you have this dark color on there, it's very difficult to remove it. In case I changed my mind about the tree placement. Sometimes it's very difficult to decide where you want your trees without seeing them up on the canvas. You want the composition to flow nicely, and you don't want any symmetrical patterns. So sometimes it's just a lot better to test out what you're going to do before you actually do it. But that's up to you. Whatever you feel like doing, whatever you think makes it easier. I'm just trying to give you some tips that I find very, very useful when I paint. All right, maybe there's a little bit up here. And I'm just kind of dabbing this time. You can make trees all sorts of different ways, but today I just have the filbert. I'm just dabbing, giving myself a lot of the background showing through, a lot of sky showing through. Really fun. Now with the nice soft gray color on the filbert brush, we're going to block in some of these stone areas over here, some of the rocks and cliffs. Just scrub them in. Not a big deal at all. There. And this is maybe the underpainting for the lighter areas. Maybe you'll use a darker underpainting for some of the darker areas. Doesn't have to be all one solid color, even in your first layers. Now with our 3/4 inch brush and some blue and white, let's go ahead and just drop on some beautiful color here to the waterfall. This is just the dark part. Of course, we're going to come back and highlight it. There, look at that. And then we can do some little misty areas, that's fine. And feel free to paint right over your rocks. See? Drift this color right over the edge because you can always paint the rocks back in. This is just the first layer. There we go. And maybe down here it does some, oh, maybe, watch this. Maybe it comes around like that. Maybe not quite, that's maybe more of a flat angle. I like it. And then turn directions and go this way. You can do just about any angle that you choose. All right, I like it. Pretty fun to do. I love waterfalls. Now I'll go through just a little bit of white and blue on our flat brush. And maybe back here, we need to start highlighting this little waterfall. And you'll have to go over it a couple times to smooth it out as you paint along. Maybe over here, let's do, there, do a bit of a fall like that, and maybe over here, something a little bit more flat. There you go. Just work on this for a little while, kind of getting the shapes correct and making it the way that you want. We need some splash down here, some highlight to this mist. There, pull some of it down. There, and then darker as you get down here. Now let's go ahead and highlight the top of these rocks. Touch very, very lightly here so that you don't smooth everything together. And it's also a good idea to leave some of the background showing through. You don't want to cover the whole thing up. Now to really make this come alive, you can add in some beautiful blue shadow areas to these rocks. This really helps to pop it out and give it some extra detail. You never want just a light and a dark color in your rocks. You need all sorts of different shades of colors. You can put red and you can put green. The green could look like moss or grass on top. But blue, that's the reflected light. There's all sorts of things you can do. There, put a little blue on top if you want to. Now let's work on highlighting these trees. So I'll just dab and dot with my little filbert brush and a softer green color. And this is the first highlight. As you know, we like to put on a few highlights. There, I'm starting with this tree just because it's bigger. It's really going to make an impact, and then we'll work on the little trees that are not as important later. As long as your limbs don't overlap an area where you might want to highlight, it's fine. You can always work around them. Now you can see, you can quickly make this painting pop out just by adding on some beautiful highlights here on the edge of the tree. It doesn't take much, it really doesn't. And very quickly you have a beautiful little group of trees. Now it's very important that you don't just go along the edge, you have to bring it in to the tree a little bit. I know it's a tendency to try to outline the tree, but that just won't work. You're gonna have to bring it in to the middle in a couple areas, not everywhere. Now, in order to balance this painting, I'm gonna add a few limbs on this side of the painting, kind of hanging in. Okay, we gotta go a little higher, but I wanna do this slowly because it's easy to add more limbs, but to try to take them off would take a lot longer. I don't want to sit here all day trying to take off these dark limbs. So I'm going to go up slowly. There. And I suggest when you do this, you do a few limbs and then stand back, make sure that you like where it's going, then come back up to the painting and do a few more, because then you're a little safer that way. There we go. This is like a different kind of a tree. Maybe some form of an evergreen tree that kind of hangs in the painting. Adds a lot of character and detail. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out my website, my DVDs, and also my brush line. And thanks for watching.